used to think it was like the Illuminati was running the world and they were fucking up my life and the FBI was following me around and they were all watching me. I really believed it. And then like I would start to see evidence of that. I would like film it and put it on my YouTube channel. Like, look at this. Like, I'm leaving my house and the police are following me. People are following me down the street as I'm leaving this house in Eastvale. Of course they're following me as I'm leaving the house in Eastvale. I was destroying the house. I was squatting in the fucking house and I was destroying this house. So all the neighbors were looking at me like, why is you destroying this house? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, but you're such a nice guy when we come and talk to you. But you seem really paranoid. Like, Christopher is really paranoid. See, but I've been talking about myself in third person for years, but not like this. Up until the accident is when I started recognizing like, oh, there's different consciousnesses coming through. And then now that I'm reading all these books, I've only gotten through 2 of 14. Doesn't matter which books, but it matters that I already read these books before, but I never finished it. Like, I started it and I never finished it. And now that I've finished it, because I was told like, this is an important book, you need to read this and understand it, because you're going to be tested on this is important. So it's like, okay, so I'm reading it and I'm like, this is my story, dude. Like, I already knew where it was going. I already knew where I didn't know about certain things, but it's more like, I'm not coming to this group like, I'm not coming to the order like, oh, please teach me how to get in contact with my guardian angel. Like, I'm seeking the light. I'm like coming like, I already got the light and I can't communicate with anybody. About what my experiences are. No one who's outside of the order of sworn brothers have achieved this kind of a consciousness on their own. I don't think. Maybe they have, but it happened in old times on accident. Or now I see like why they were in jail. Like, that was when it came to me, was when I was in jail. When I was starving and when I was like there for not doing anything wrong. It created me. But like, I don't even know if they believe in that. But I have to like join and become one of them and achieve what they're doing. But now I see like, oh my God, like, that's why I was blind. I was blinded by the light. It was why like I've been talking about myself in third person. That's why I'm identifying as these other entities and consciousnesses. It's just crazy that I got through this book and I'm like, dang, it's the second book that, the first book I didn't know anything about, I've never even heard of. But the second book I had already read the beginning part, but I never finished it. I just thought, this is weird, and I stopped reading it. And I wish I wouldn't have. Because everything that happened to me is everything that's in the book. But I can't talk about this other book that I bought right after I got out of the accident. I thought it was really important to go on Amazon and order this book called Old World Secrets. I'm gonna read to you a page from it right now, the very beginning page. And I hope it doesn't get copyrighted, and I hope that everyone goes out there and checks out the book. But it's crazy, I didn't even start it because he's like, if you read this, it's gonna make you have a new religion. And I'm like, the last thing I need is a new religion, you know? Like, but I already understand the concept of the creator, savior, destroyer. That's what the book is about. Like, it taught me that there's a cycle. Creator, savior, destroyer is what he called it. He's like, these are MSM secrets. The book is called Old World Secrets, Omega Project Codes by Brandon Lavon. And just to cut it short, like the very beginning of the book, dude, as soon as I opened it up, it's on the preface. The book is falling apart. Like, I'll show you. Like, the book is falling apart. Come on. Come on, Barbie. Oh, God. You're so dramatic, dude. That was so dramatic, dude. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning. All my neighbors are like, it's a fucking Satanist. I'm not a Satanist, dude. I'm a Jesus freak. Satanist. So, Omega Project Codes. Old World Secrets. The Omega Project Codes. Okay, the book is falling apart. Gotta take care of all these bills. I'm just waiting for Social Security to tell me. So I open up the book and this page is still here, but it fell out. You see it fell out. And I'll read it. One day, not long before my 30th birthday, I felt a pressure in the back of my neck. All of a sudden, it got hard to breathe. The air was thick and gravity was pulling me down. I decided I had to get outside to fresh air. By the time I got in the front door, both sides of my face were pulling down. I opened up the step onto the front porch. I felt like somebody had plugged me into a light socket. It felt like someone plugged me into a light socket. There's no, like, I was telling them in the hospital, I'm like, I've never felt better. They're like, sir, all of your ribs are broken. You just sustained a car accident. Your lung is full of blood. Like, we have to give you oxygen. We have to put you, like, you have severe trauma to your brain. Like, you've had a brain trauma injury. Like, do you know where you are? Do you know what date it is? And I'm like, they're like, do you feel like hurting yourself? And I'm always like, no. Like, I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't want to hurt myself. Like, this was an accident. There was a deer. And I've never felt better. Like, the spirits came after me because I felt like when I first started the YouTube channel, it was already happening to me. I knew before I was breaking up with my girlfriend, something was about to happen. I could feel it coming. Like, it was like not me. I knew there was like another part of me that was like raging out, trying to escape and figure all this out. And then I heard it in the music, and then I started hearing it everywhere, and then I see it in all the movies, and then I just see it everywhere. And now I'm just like, so this guy's saying it happened to him in his 30th birthday. It happens when you're around 27. And that's what happened with MFNL. Like, that's when I met my holy guardian angel, was when I was 27 years old in jail on a hunger strike. So for him, listen to how he explains it. This is from Omega Project Codes. This is not secret society information. This is, anyone can get this. Anyone can order this book. In all the books that are out there are easily, you could figure out exactly what's going on. It's easily just Googleable. I just choose to join the order because I want to talk to people who I know that this has happened to and who understand. Because we see it like this guy, even though he gets it, he's not getting it. It's just like me. It's like, even though I got it, I'm not like accepted by the brotherhood. Like, I didn't do it the right way. Like, me posting videos on YouTube is kind of the same way as what they're teaching, which I know is what they're going to be teaching, documenting everything like scientifically, like an experiment. I understood all that, but I just never wanted to do any of the practices. I never wanted to join a group. I never wanted to swear secret oaths, but now it's like, it's not a secret oath, dude. It's like you interpret it for your own way. It's silence. The God that we worship is of secrecy and of silence. It's a finger over your mouth. It's because you can't even tell. Even if I wanted to tell you, I couldn't tell you. You won't believe me. So I fight whatever is happening to me. Okay, I was standing on the front porch and I could not move. It started squeezing my fists together to try and fight whatever was happening to me, but it wasn't working. I wanted to yell for help, but I couldn't speak. My breathing was becoming shallower, and every second that passed, I could breathe less and less. I started to realize that there was no hope. I had wasted my entire life. I would be dead within a matter of seconds on my front porch, and I wasn't sure if anybody would even care. Within the passing of a few moments, everything got bright white. All the trees and the air, everything was most beautiful I'd ever seen. It was impossible for me to describe how beautiful and bright everything was. See, only if you've lived through this, like near-death experience, or when you die, do you come back and you're just like, it's so bright, dude. It's an angel being born, like, or incarnating and looking with the eyes of the man, like, or God incarnating and just being like, whoa, is how I interpreted it. I get shaking talking about this. My hand's like shaking. When the passing of a few moments, everything got bright white and all the trees. Okay, so he's saying that it's impossible for me to describe how beautiful and bright everything was. I had been praying to God to help me. I had been praying to God to help me, trying to make a deal with him, saying, if you let me live, I will be good person, I promise. Oh, please, God, please. Just when I thought my life was over, I saw an even brighter light floating down from the sky. As it got closer and closer, I could make out that it was a face that looked like the pictures of Jesus Christ with no body. So just a face. This is what this guy interprets it as. God came to him in the form of what he believed Jesus Christ looks like. He looked at me in the face of anger. All of my life, I thought as long as I stayed to myself, saved a little money, and didn't hurt anybody, I could go to heaven. Without saying a word, just with his eyes, he said, there's not supposed to be any money and you're supposed to help people. He slowly floated back into the sky and could slowly breathe better and better. My color came back from blue, and after a few moments, I was able to function like I had before, from the point on in my life where I had the same. He had told me this, that everything and everybody I knew based on their life was wrong, and a very different picture had been implanted in my mind as to how the world is supposed to be. And now, who should I believe? The Bible is filled with ways to get money, and the churches were raised up by collecting it. This is my testament to what I've found. I never finished it. I just started tripping on how he said that in the very opening. That's how it starts. It's not even the beginning page of the book. And it fell out. The whole book's falling apart. I could probably pull this page off. I don't want to do it. And he starts going into money and about how, like, the back of the dollar bill says Mason and all this other bullshit. But it's not about that. Like, I guess we could make it about that and be like, oh, you know, there's 33 feathers on the bird, and come on, like the stars, it's the Star of David, like the star on my head, like the Thelemic star, the Jewish star. For not a Jewish star. The Jews use it as their symbol, so people call it a Jewish star, but it's not a Jewish star. I guess it was because Solomon was Jewish and a magician. And our religion in Thelema is we study all the world's religions. See, I feel like I'm not allowed to talk about certain things. But I'm not seeking out information from the internet or online forums. I'm just talking to myself. I'm not even going to post this till whenever I feel like it for my update for the end of the month. But I'm allowed to post whatever I want, so I'm going to post it. And I'm allowed to say that the books that I'm being told to read are, I've already experienced what they're talking about going through. That's all. I love you. I was just thinking about that this morning. That, like, that's why I see it and everything. That's why, like, I could pull out a tarot deck and be like, oh, it's gonna happen next to the movie. Like, oh, he's gonna go to this. Oh, this. He's gonna meet the emperor. Or, you know what I'm saying? It's always the fool. And I guess you could be like, oh, like, look, it's in this Hollywood movie. And I have to do that so that people will be, like, interested in it. Makes it valuable in what I'm contributing for someone who will figure out what I'm saying later on. That, like, dude, it's in everything. It's just that no one sees it because... And the wiser the prophet is who comes and tries to tell people, it's what the same thing the books are saying is like, you figure out the truth and you can't describe it to people because you can't communicate with them on that level anymore, or they're all communicating on another level. They have words for it, like the tree of life, like they'll be like, oh, because they're in this word, they're in that word, as an occultist, and I'll probably have to learn it and understand that side of it. But as an outsider, I look at it and I'm just like, right now I'm like, because people are in confusion. Does that make sense? Because people don't know about what other world religions teach. You only study your one side opinion biased nature of, oh, the Bible is right. I don't need to look at anything else. The Bible is right. Okay, cool. The Bible is right on so many levels, but there's so many levels. You know what I mean? Like there's so many levels. And we have access and information. We have access to information from other places in the world. Why would we not study them? But it's just crazy that like I ended up like, I think it was because of Living Thelema. There used to be this website that first came out 11 years ago, 12 years ago, called Living Thelema, and it taught a lot of the rituals. So that was how I learned how to do Benishing ritual and how to do Ate and vibrate all the names of the Lord and do everything the right way. And then I stopped listening to it. So I haven't even finished that all either, which I'll probably have to end up doing someday too. So it's cool because it's like I feel like I get to go full circle. Like I never got to get into my religion, but now I am. So it's really cool. It's like I'm discovering it as an outsider. But I've been on the inside of it, like living it. Now I'm realizing, oh shit, I already did all this. Like I already know what they're talking about. Like I'm not coming in and like trying to figure out how to make this happen to me. Like there's no me. Does that make sense? It doesn't make sense, huh? There's no me because I'm you and you're me and I'm watching you myself right now from a different perspective. So I see it like, oh, I have this other important things to do right now. Like I don't need to try to figure out what he's tripping on. Like I'm not tripping. Like you're tripping. We're all tripping. Like we're all freaking thinking that we're this thing that we're wearing. And it's real and it's not real. We're all the same thing. We all end up going back to the same place. So you have to make your own heaven or hell while you are here. You're not going to go experience some like euphoria because you suffered down here. Like, yeah, I suffered down here, but like, okay, but it's how much you can endure. How much can you endure? And like, also like I came to teach. So I don't really care even if like no one listens. Like I know they were listening. I had a lot of people who I was teaching before and who I have a really good ideas about sovereignty and how to do it. And I'm not afraid. And that's why it's so interesting to watch me and why so many people did. And so many people someday will. Because it's not like they're going to ever tell the public and be like, oh, if you want a way out, like here's a way out. You have to fight for your way out. So instead of recording diaries, I would just record myself. I should just record myself. Just put up a camera in the fucking room. And it's 24/7. And then when I think of a thought, instead of getting out my journal and having to like go look for a pen or have my journal ready and like write down exactly what I'm thinking, isn't it easier just to like record it and then go back and be like, oh, make a note in my journal. Went on a rant at this time. Then it would be scientific. Then it'd be like documented. It'd be like, you could see what I was saying. I could see what I was saying. I could go back and listen and read what I was saying. Because I've already figured out that it's coming through me. The Spirit is coming through me. It's been... What are you doing to my leg? Are you humping my leg? You're a girl dog. Go to your bed. Come on. Come here. Come here. She gets so excited in the mornings because I'm not paying attention. I'm supposed to be doing my pranayama right now, but instead of doing my pranayama, I haven't had my coffee yet though, so I don't start reading until I do my coffee. But man, I know what they're talking about though, like in the books. Like I get it. It's why this is preliminary. I'm not gonna say anything bad about the order. This is how they initiate outsiders, like people who have no idea about what's going on at all. They're getting all this information, so they're gonna be like, what? But it's the truth. Just tell them the truth right from the get-go. I like that. I like that you tell them the truth, what it really is. It's like you tripping. And I think a lot of it also came from the fact that I was on the opioids. And that's why like I immediately got off of them. And why like you lose it. I didn't lose it, but man, I was way in a euphoric state when I was on all the painkillers from the hospital. But I don't even take any painkillers. I don't take any prescription painkillers. I stopped taking them like right after I got out of the hospital. Like within 2 weeks. I was still in excruciating pain, but I stopped taking them like at 5 weeks when I started walking because I had to drive across the country to come home. So I had to be off all the painkillers. Not because anyone said like, you have to. I'm supposed to be going and seeing doctors. They cut off my Social Security and my Medicaid. I haven't even gone and seen a doctor. I'm still walking. But I'm supposed to go to physical therapy. Like most people wouldn't be able to walk without going to physical therapy. Like I'm a miracle, dude. I'm a Christmas miracle. Dude. What's a dude? Someone who works at a ranch. I'm sure none of you work at a ranch. Sure, I don't work at a ranch. Not very many people work at ranches nowadays. And if they do, they're probably not watching YouTube. But maybe they will be. Hearing about sovereignty and being like, fuck, I don't want to go to the big city and be a citizen. I want to be a sovereign. I want to live on my own land. I want to govern myself. Like, if I go into deal with commerce, like, I'll deal with commerce with my name, like, that they gave me. But I don't want to deal with them. Now they're going to get rid of the IRS, I heard. And they're going to make it the External Revenue Service. They're going to make all the foreigners pay all the taxes. Because all the people are figuring out about how to pay bills with your signature. And they're, like, demanding the government pays them back. And they're like, no. If you want to claim to be a foreign state, then you're a foreign state. We're not going to help you. We're going to tax you. That's what it sounds like. Which is good. Like, if you want to live in their system, like, they're genius. They figured out a way to counter what I was doing. And they rolled it out right when I start getting ready to be like, look, you can pay bills with your signature. Now they're like, oh, we're going to shut down that division of the IRS. Okay, well, good luck with that. I'm going to sue you guys. I'm going to sue you. I'm going to send it to the IRS, and you better fucking process it anyways. Because I have all these medical bills coming in now, and now you guys want to fucking say you're going to get rid of the IRS. Like, you better not. I'll send it to the ERS or whoever you want to call it, dude. They better figure it out, dude, because Christopher Fleming's a citizen, and he has the right to discharge his debts. You guys took Christopher Fleming's family's fucking gold. My grandpa told me you guys fucking put all of our gold in Fort Knox. So you can't just say that I have to, like, work for you and be your slave forever. Your debt slave. Like, when there is no money. Like, listen, when there was money and I was working and I could drive a truck, you saw me working. I was paying my fucking credit card bill every month. But now if I need to contact them and be like, hey, I need to fucking discharge this debt, like, they should hear me out and they should fucking try to work with me and process the fucking payment. But now it's like, oh, the IRS is gonna be closing down. So it makes me feel like I need to do this before they fucking stop allowing us to do it. And show, like, I could have been doing this the whole fucking time. I just don't want to. I don't think the world's ready. But now you're, like, forcing me to get ready. I feel like they're always rushing me. Like, I don't want, like, I have a printer right there and a computer. I can start I got all these bills. You see all the bills on the table. I have to deal with them next week. But if they give me my SSI, I'm not going to go after them with fucking A for V shit. Because I don't need to. And I don't fucking think it's for everyday people. I've known about it. I've never used it. I used it one time to discharge the debt for the fucking property, and I never did it again after that. It's the truth. I've never sent off another one. Because look at all the fucking chaos it brought into my life. Daddy, pay attention to me. Daddy. I'm just a little Barbie girl and I want to play. All right. Her name is the Barbie girl. She's living in the Barbie world. She's such a pretty Barbie girl that everybody wants to see. Everybody needs to know. Tell me, is she gonna be Barbie girl of the world? The Barbie tan little squirrel. Barbie tan little girl. All right, love you, bye. And I'm just concerned now because I hear Trump talking about, people were posting a video saying commentary on the IRS, the External Revenue Service, and how Trump's going to get rid of he's going to implement tariffs and stop taxing U.S. citizens so there's no more U.S. citizen income tax, which there should have never been anyways because it's unconstitutional up until the 13th Amendment, in the 14th Amendment, which basically made everyone citizens and said that you're subject to the national debt. So a lot is happening with sovereignty right now, and it's just weird that Trump came into office and started doing things that are really smart, that like I appreciate, because it makes me look like honor, like staying in honor. Like so many times people are like, you need to file documents with the U.S. Secretary of State and claim that you own the name. And you guys are all foreign countries. Now they don't have to discharge your debts for you anymore. That this is their solution. Like, and what I was doing this whole time, I've just been collecting SSI and just chilling and waiting because I knew it was too soon. America was not ready for my message yet. Like, people are not going to understand how to pay bills with your signature. Like, you have to be able to govern yourself. You have to be able to go and use the court system like a man. Like, you have to have intelligence. Like, you don't have to be a man, but you have to be like a man and go stand before the judge and articulate your case and explain why you have the right to enforce your negotiable instruments in a private contract. The court has no interest to even be interested in what you're doing privately with another company. I have all these medical bills right now. I don't have enough money to pay them. My credit cards are all stacked up. I broke up with my ex-girlfriend. Like, the credit card company is going to have to learn to accept this too. Like, I don't know what they're going to need to do. But before they get rid of all this ERS shit, I'm going to make sure that my A for V's are still going through. That's what I'm thinking. My preliminary thoughts is to send everything off to the credit card company and be like, you guys have to process this payment and make it look like it was not. Don't close the account. Honor the negotiable instrument, because I'm still a U.S. citizen. Christopher Fleming is a U.S. citizen. I never claimed that I was not a citizen. I just separated from the title of what they created. So my mother and father created me, the man, but the government created a legal entity called Christopher Fleming so that they can deal with this make-believe thing, this straw man. That's why Dorothy meets the straw man. And then the Tin Man, the tax identification number. And we have the cowardly Congress who never fucking says anything. But it's just like, it's also more than that. It's like, do you have a heart? Do you have a brain? Do you have courage? Like, follow the yellow brick road. Like, the gold is yours once you're sovereign. Like, they're not going to deny you I don't believe that when I start mailing off my stuff, they're gonna be like, oh, this is fraud, you're committing fraud, you can't do this. It's like, no, hold on. What's fraud is that you guys came and took all the gold and silver from my grandpa, dude. My grandpa told me that I was not crazy, that I was not tripping, that it's true. There was a time when they came and made it seem like all of the money needed to be given to the government in 1933. And they're supposed to be holding all of our money in Fort Knox in trust. And we have these names that we can discharge all of our debt. It's known. It's not a conspiracy. It's known. It's called tender. It's under the United Nations International Bills of Exchange and International Promissory Notes. It was a convention in 1988 in New York where they said what the exact terms were for a draft, what the words need to be on a promissory note, what it looks like for a bill of exchange. Like it needs to have a date, an address, your name. Like I'm remembering all this just from memory from things from 10 years ago. But I've known it wasn't the time. But now it's like I see what they're doing. Like they're like making it so that all these foreign states, everyone who's separated themselves from the United States is now going to be like liable for all the debts. All of a sudden your A4Vs aren't going to be working anymore. The IRS is going to close down. They're going to start probably like messing with people. I don't want to say bad things. I know, dude. Because people tried so hard to figure out sovereignty and like went through so much shit and filed so much documents. But you didn't have to ever do any of that. Like you should have just used a name like a coat. Like I still work and I use Christopher Fleming. It's a raincoat. All right, I love you. I'm not going to post this till next month. I'm just thinking out loud. Thoughts that my spirit tells me. But I have to start my new book today. I got 12 more books to read. But not really, because some of them I've already read. I'm not going to lie. Or I'm familiar with the text, so it's like I can get through it quick. But it's really cool because when someone tells you, like, these are important books, you need to read these. And you've kind of already read it, but you never finished reading it, you're just familiar with the text, like, it's just different. Like, I've heard the text, but I never really read it. So we'll see where I go from here. But I at least want to document, like, what I'm thinking as we're going through the books. I'm not going to say the book titles, but just, yeah, this is a good experience for me to finish reading that. But what psyched me out the most is thinking that I've already experienced all of this. I'm just reading about my own life. Like, I know where this is going. Like, I know why they're doing this in the book. I'm not going to say what book it is, but you wouldn't know unless someone told you, like, this is an important book, you need to read it. And you're going to be tested on it. So make sure you understand it. But not only, like, am I not worried about being tested on any of this information, because I've already achieved everything they're saying, and people who are coming to them are just trying to figure this out. Like, I'm coming trying to seek the light. Like, I don't know, I'm lost. I'm not coming to them lost. I'm coming to them like, dude, like, I need to talk to somebody. I don't have anyone I can communicate with. No one else except you guys understands what I'm going through, what's happened to me. And it happened to me just from me recognizing all the experiences I went through as symbolic. Now I see it everywhere. I can't help but seeing it in movies and music and everything. It's just like the code has been unlocked. I hear it in the symphony of strings, like Mozart. How do you explain this to people who don't, like, you're not on a frequency where you're able to receive information from a different source? There's no other way to articulate. I don't know how to say what's happened, but I get like shockwaves and shake when I talk about it. I was really calm and cool and everything was all right until I started recording it. I'm like, oh, I'm talking about it. Shh, don't talk about it. See, it's not like it's like a secret society. I guess it is. Like, at some point, I'm probably going to have to swear secret vows. Right now, I'm just on a student program. And I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be like, dude, like, I'm not new. But, and I'm uploading videos on YouTube because I'm the Antichrist. So I'm going to tell them who I am. But, I don't know. Like, I know it's my will to deliver a message and show you guys like my experiences I'm going through the student program, and hopefully into probationership and into grades. I'll still be able to post videos, and it's not about being quiet. It's not like a secret society, like, oh, you can't talk about it. It's just like, you don't want to talk about it with people who don't get it. And you can't, because the level of knowledge that we're talking about is past the abyss. Like, I'm no longer on the lower planes of consciousness. When I wake up and I'm in these modes and I'm just like thinking, my brain isn't me. I'm not holding a phone. Like, when I'm talking to you, I'm talking to you on a different level. Does that make sense? Like, the thoughts that I get are not the thoughts that are the same when you're in a calm meditative state and you're receiving. You're true, and you recognize who you truly are, and that who everyone else is too. You're like, oh shit. Like, it's like we're all like this. We're all, I am, like, it's me. But it's the dog, and it's the cat meowing right there, and it's the birds, and it's everything. Like, you see the beauty in it. It's like a symphony. It's like a song. It was written by you, for you, but for everyone else, all at the same time. Someone to be. Do thou wilt, should be the whole law. Love is the law, love under will. If I'm looking at the dog, I'll think about the dog. So I try not to look at the dog. Do what thou wilt, should be the whole law. So I'll like look this way, and I have this way of like looking at things so that when I zone my eyes out, it does like this 3D thing. It's like this thing that I was taught in school. Like, they gave us these books. They didn't give it to us. It was like at the book fair every time they would have this thing called 3D Magic Eye, and it's like a way to make your eyes like get lazy and look through the geometric patterns and like see a 3-dimensional image in the book picture. It's called 3D Magic Eye. I don't know if anyone's ever experienced this. I tried to tell Gabby about it, but she had no idea what I was saying. And my mom, like, she didn't know. Like, and when you show people, they don't see it. Like, you have to, like, and I was like, I love those books because I was like, I could see it. I would always like look at it, and I could like zoom out and look and see the image right away. So like, I always like loved to give it to other people because it would like stump them. They'd be like, you see something there? And I'm like, yeah, you don't see it? And sometimes they like look so hard and they couldn't see it. Like, put it really close to your nose and then zoom out. It's like the beginner way to do it. If you look really closely at it and you pull it away slow and you zoom your eye out, you can watch my eyes do it. Watch. Boom, right there, it happened. And everyone like who talks to me would be like, where do you go, dude? Like, I'm talking to you, and like I can see like in your eyes, like you're just not here. Because like, I have this ability to fucking zoom out and zone out while I'm awake and like do the meditation, like, and I smoke cigarettes, like, and I do everything, like, and all this happened to me on accident. It wasn't an accident. They put me in jail. I think they knew that it would happen if they keep on locking someone up, that someone's spirit will break free and they would create me. I think they were looking for me. That's what I think. Like, that I'm not special, that it just ended up happening to me. They were trying to make it happen. Because they know, like, it's part of the prophecy. Like, when someone's, like, arrested for no reason and, like, keeps on getting arrested, or is facing all these torments, like, everything in their life goes bad and then gets worse and worse and worse. Like, I was watching this movie, Champion, last night. Another, like, die and come back, die and come back, die and come back movie. But it's, like, of this, like, AI. I don't want to spoil the movie for you. You've probably already seen it. It's been out for a month by now by the time I post this. I'm learning a lot from these books, though. it's interesting that a lot of people have come to the same conclusion, like that Lucifer's like not the bad guy. He's like the one who's like trying to teach us. But I feel divided between Lucifer and FNL. Not, but like my own will. Like Lucifer has one will of helping me accomplish something, that if I work with him, and then my holy guardian angel is like, just chill and just don't make a scene. Just write a book or something. Because it's not fair that when we died, like no one would have known. I would have died right there in that field that night. No one would have known about me. I would have just been just another crazy person. So unless I leave some kind of like mark or like legacy, like, hey, like I actually like achieved the gnosis and like, whoa, like everything was great. I experienced like what you have to do 40 days of like not having sex for, and like what all these magicians try to work towards. But I did it because I was in an accident, like, and but even before the accident, I was already like posting videos being like, I'm not working down here, like I don't know what's going on. Like I thought I'd have to like not think about sex. What is like, if something spiritual happened to me like before the accident, like it's like I knew I was gonna die. Like I was dying. Like leaving Gabby, like me leaving that behind was just like me like crying out to the spirit world, like help me, like this isn't fair, like this isn't a happy ending, like this isn't what I wanted. Like I wasn't happy in this relationship, in that relationship. I wish she'd come home, but also like I'm glad that like what happened and I needed to die. Like who I wasn't a good man. Like I wasn't being myself. Like I forgot, like I started doing money. Like, and Jesus was like, businessmen and merchants will not enter the house of my Father. And like I've always known that, but then like you forget, like you slowly slip into it and you start like working, and then like it becomes about like making more and more. It wasn't like we had enough. Like our life was so good. Like our neighbors, like, dude, you guys had like a great life. Like you guys worked together, like drive on the truck together, like everything was great. Like outside, like, but then like looking at it now, I'm just like, it was great. Like everything was great, but I wasn't great. Like I needed to die. Like I needed to experience like a reconnect with the spirit, like, and remember. And I started hearing it in all the music, and then like I was trying to like tell Gabby like something's happening to me, like, and no one would know. I couldn't communicate with anyone, and I didn't realize it wasn't just Gabby until after the accident. I was living with my mom, and I was still like, literally for like 70 days, I could not like get aroused at all. Nothing was like, I was just like, I was trying to like go online and like look on dating apps, but like I was like just got out of a relationship, like I should be single and be all excited, like, and I was trying to be, but I was just like, I felt like, oh, like I'm free, like I'm not in that relationship anymore, like I can go out and date. But like it wasn't like that. It was just like my head was like, just so much was going on, dude, after the accident, the trauma, and then all the missing time, dude, like I know. And then like standing next to my body, and like walking up to my body as the with the cops or whoever the first responders were. I don't know who. I just remember that Apple was like, we detected an accident and we're calling 911. And then I opened the door and I collapsed out of the car because I was in so much pain for my ribs, and my head was fucking leaking. There was just blood coming out of my head. And I just think that's like another thing, like the spirit, like it was just like, you gotta lay down. You just been in trauma, like you need to lay down. But I didn't think that. Like I didn't think like, oh, I need to open up the door and fall out. I just opened up the door and fell out because I was in so much shock. I thought I could walk, but I collapsed because my leg was broken. So it's like, I can't be like, oh, like I was saved by the spirit. Jesus saved me. Like no one was there. It just goes black, like, and you just get like a review, and I just felt disappointment that I never like told my story, and I just started like living for like this relationship that was a temporary thing that helped me like get on my feet and become like part of society, like know what it's like to have credit card debt and interest rates that like, okay, like the credit cards are maxed out and we were supposed to pay, we were paying off the credit, we paid off the credit cards so many times, we maxed them out and we would always pay them off. Within weeks, we'd pay it off because we were making so much money. And now it's just like, it's been there and it hasn't been able to be paid down because we don't work, and I'm not working with her. And like my job application has everything with us, like as a team driver. And I have his dog and I have all this stuff that just reminds me of her. And I just miss her. And I just feel like, man, like the little things that I was tripping over are not that important. We're not important. But then also, like, I know that I can't have attachment. Like, I'm glad that, like, she was so much younger than me, dude. I was 11 years older than her. So, like, I'm happy that she gets to go out and experience her life and be an adult. And, like, when I was 27, that was when I won my lawsuit. It was, like, the happiest time of my life. So, I feel, like, really good about this situation. Like, I didn't leave her in a bad spot. Like, I didn't leave myself in a bad spot. Like, I hope that she's happy, but... like, I'm happy that, like, this happened to me. But now I know that, like, this is happening to other people, but they have to do all this crazy stuff to, like, make it happen to them. But I didn't know that that was what was happening to me. But I started a YouTube channel because I knew something was happening to me. Sorry. All right, 10 minutes. I'm in the middle of doing my readings, and I just keep on always having these thoughts about what I need to do. And I feel like the best thing to do in this kind of situation is to speak out and say that right now I'm all for them looking into government waste, but also someone needs to address and forward this message on to Elon Musk and tell him, this motherfucker died in a car accident. He's been paying bills with his signature. He called the IRS. They taught him how to pay bills with his signature. They gave him a $2 million house and then convicted him for stealing it. They've been creating money out of our birth certificates for I don't even know how long. We don't even know what process to use. Like, I want to start doing it and showing you guys how you would discharge debt with your signature. Like the right way where it's legal. But we have FBI coming out telling people this is all frauds and scams, and I have people on Facebook posting stuff. So I haven't done anything with it. The last time I used an A4V was when I paid the property taxes at the mansion for $18,000. I sent them a promissory note on a fucking postal money order for $5. I crossed out $5. I wrote $18,000. I said it's a negotiable instrument, bills of exchange. I used all the terms and verbiages from the 1988 New York Conference on International Bills of Exchange and International Promissory Notes, UNCITRAL. Look it up. I don't know how I remember all this stuff. I don't know why I used all this stuff. My spirit is the one who taught me how to do the lawsuit. I can't even take any credit for it. Like NFNL really, my spirit helped me write all that stuff. Like I listened to the lawsuit. I look at it. I haven't looked at it since 2015, to be honest with you. I haven't listened to it. I haven't like watched any of those videos because it's so traumatizing for me to go back and like, and I feel frustrated. Like I never finished something. So I think that's maybe another reason why Lucifer like, or like this other spirit is like trying to speak out or wanted to come out. And I think I had to die for it to happen. Like I had to break up with my girlfriend. Barbie gets anxiety. You can hear her because she can sense my anxiety just talking about this. I don't like recording videos. I'm supposed to be silent. Like those who know do not speak, and those who speak do not know. But also, this is not my will. My will is to teach, like, and to help. And I can't help if we can't pay bills with our signature and we're still stuck on using money. Like I live in a world where you guys like think that money is real. Like right now, I just bought a car. They have to mail me. I bought a car from my house, from my apartment. They have to mail me documents that I have to get notarized. So it's just like, these contracts are so long. They're so huge. No one understands these contracts. They're huge. You have to be an attorney to like understand what you're signing. And what you're signing is a bunch of liabilities so that they can go and sue you in civil court, and they have actions that they can take to repossess the cars, that you have to make monthly payments and satisfy the debt to them or pay the settlement, whatever it is. Like, but you can always negotiate with legal tender with contracts. So it's just like everything is back and forth, an administrative process between you and whatever company you're dealing with. I called the IRS. What did she say? She said, we're not going to do this. People like contact me like, oh, is your video still valid? You called the IRS. They taught you how to pay bills with your signature. Is this still valid? Like, they're going to shut down the IRS. Like, people are online saying, you need to file this 1099-C form. And I used to send 1040-E forms with all the debts because I was like a discharge. I was trying to get him to settle it. And now I'm just like, the way that it should be done is all contractually, privately, and administratively between you and the person who's claiming that you owe the debt. Like, that's what you do, is you deal with the CFOs. Like, and I wouldn't do this to like mom and pops. Like, I wouldn't do this to like the car. Like, if my car broke down and go to like a local auto mechanic and I need to get my car fixed. Like, he doesn't know how to process that payment. You know what I'm saying? Like, the major credit card corporations and shit, like, I have a lot of credit card debt. I could probably try to see if I could do all this stuff. But the thing is, when you do this, it goes as a charge off. That's what I always want. And I want to show on my credit history that I make payments every month so that I can eventually go and get something. Because the only way you can obtain anything in this world is with credit. So if I have something before it goes on my credit report, if I can set it off or discharge it or argue with them to keep it off the credit report, then that's what I'm going to do. I got all these medical bills, dude. Like, look at all this shit, dude. I was in the hospital. I died, dude. Like, they saved my life, dude. Like, I shouldn't be alive, dude. Like, iPhone called 911 and they showed up. And if they didn't, I would have fucking bled out and died, dude. I got a fucking head trauma injury. Like, all my ribs were broken. I died, dude. I wasn't there. There's missing time. There's so much time that's missing. Why is there birth certificates printed in upper lowercase letters, and then when they mail you your social security card that you created for the infant that was born or the new person, citizen, it's in all capital letters, and every bill is always in all capital letters, dude? Why is it always all capital letters? Why Because it's a corporation, because they created another person. So there's the man, the sovereign man, and then there's a citizen, there's a U.S. citizen. But it's like, you guys want to investigate corporate waste and all this other shit? Like, why don't you investigate this? Like, this is what we should be talking about. This is what I've been waiting to happen. Like, I didn't file an FBI lawsuit until Trump got into office and I felt safe. And I felt like they weren't going to come and kill me again, dude. Or they weren't going to come and try to trump up a fucking... They literally had someone show up in court and point at me and say, he's the one who robbed me. He has hair now. He was bald. He said his name was Christopher Fleming. And he looked just like that. And I was looking at her like, no, dude. Like, I was fucking in a semi-truck, dude. I was not here. I was not in California, dude. And it doesn't matter, dude. Like, they just hate me. I should be dead, dude. And I really thought they were trying to kill me or set me up. And I'm like trying to tell myself, like, no, like, this is like David or someone like trying to like rob someone and say their name is Christopher Fleming. People who were mad that I'm still alive because they were told they were going to kill me. So like all these people who were involved in all this shit of like gang stalking, if that shit's even real, I don't know. That's why I'm filing a lawsuit on the FBI. I don't know what else to do, dude. I don't know if this is real, dude. All I know is that I fucking bought a $2 million house with a fucking promissory note, and I fucking called the governor's office and the treasury and everyone, and they told me to fucking do it. They gave me the keys. And I moved in and they said I stole it. And no one's ever stolen land. They had to change the laws in California after they convicted me. And then I fucking filed an appeal, and then I fucking won my appeal. And then I filed a lawsuit, and I won a $127 million lawsuit because the defendants were filing fucking restraining orders on me. They were filing restraining orders, and the judge is like, she's like, Your Honor, everyone's afraid of him. The police are afraid of him. The judges are afraid of him. It's all on YouTube. She's telling the judge, the guys, I'm going to the court, I'm going to the house that I bought, that I have keys for, that they moved a tenant into. They moved someone into the property while I was filing a lawsuit so that they could try to keep me out of the house. And then I'm serving lawsuits on the property, and the guy says that I'm stalking him. And they fucking raided my parents' house, took my printers, took my lawsuit, threw me in jail after I just won a $127 million lawsuit against 5 defendants. I sued California, the governor, everyone, but I dropped all those other defendants, and I said, I just want the house, and I just want an apology. And the judge said, I can't order the defendants to apologize to you. That's what he said. He said, your remedy is you won the money. You win money. And I'm like, I don't want their money, dude. Just tell them to say they're sorry. I was just trying to prove a point. Like, if I fucking collect the money, I have to take it and sell it to a debt collector. And Jesus said you're supposed to forgive, like, not just, like, oh, like, I have to follow the Bible. Like, I'm not Christian. But Jesus was like, we like, that's why, like, oh, how do these people, like, pretend to be Christians? It's like, they're not pretending. Like, we're not Christian, but we, like, respect the teachings of Jesus. I'm a Thelomite, dude. Like, this is my religion, dude. Like, do what thou wilt should be the whole of the law. There shouldn't be any money, and we're supposed to help each other. And, like, how am I going to have a website about calling the IRS, pay bills for your signature, and you can get a fucking house, and then I'm going to collect debt from people? I'm going to become... No. I just want to find out what's going on so we can pay bills with our signature, because I know that you can pay bills with your signature because they took all the gold and silver from us. And Article 1, Section 10 of the Constitution says... No state shall enter into a treaty, alliance, confederation, grant letters of marque, reprisal, coin money, make bills of credit, make anything but gold and silver coin, and tender in payment of debt, collect any, pass any law, explicit factor law, impairing the obligations of contracts, or grant any titles and ability. My point is, I wasn't supposed to post any videos this month. I wasn't going to. I was just going to be like, just keep it silent, don't say anything. But that's what I feel like needs to happen. Something. I'm going to keep you posted with what's going on. I bought a car. Gabby still won't talk to me. But that's okay, because I'm glad I needed this time, because now I'm doing my AA and reading all these books. I have 90 days to study it. I have an examination. So I have to have all these books done. It's just lonely living by myself sometimes, but then I'm like, I don't need attachment to anything. And then I see all this stuff in the news where, like, people are getting so mad. Oh my God, they're wasting money on fucking coffee for the Pentagon. Like, they threw me in jail 70 fucking times. All right, I love you, bye. I have so many videos, like, I don't get why. And everyone else's shit will blow up. I was fucking filming the cops before they had body cameras. The reason why they have body cameras is because I got videos on my YouTube where they're sitting there holding handheld cameras on me, filming me. And that's how long I've been doing this. I've been waiting for everyone to catch up. And they catch up, and, like, I'm not going to, like, none of my arguments are going to be heard. None of the stuff I want to talk about is being put out there. Trump, like, come on, dude. You guys are looking at all this other stuff, and, like, sovereignty is not even going to be looked at or considered. I just have to wait. It must still not be time yet. It's like people are just freaking out, like, about wasted money going to fucking illegal immigrants. It's like, oh my God, why are we fighting each other? Why are we? I don't know. I'm not going to argue or say anything about these nations building walls and separating and racism and all that. It's like, fuck, dude. People just want to hate each other, dude. Because we have to learn that we are not separate from each other. We're all in this together. I'm not mad. Like, I'm at peace. Like, I don't have to worry about it. I'm just trying to help you guys, like, try to get along. It doesn't need to be like this. Like, this is so stupid. It's not urgent. There's no urgency. Like, if you don't want to listen to me, I'll come back again in another body in another fucking 100 years, or whatever, however long, when I feel like it, however long I can last here, and then when I come back. And I'm still going to have the same message for you people. It's like, it doesn't matter. Like, you're not different than me. Like, you're just stuck on a lower level of thinking where you're, like, trapped in either you get it and you're realizing that, like, what you're thinking about is what you're creating. You live in whatever kind of world you fucking manufacture. So I guess, like, telling people, like, money is not real. They're not ready for that yet. Like, they're just barely getting the fact that, like, government's been really corrupt. Like, it used to just be conspiracy theorists who understood it, but now, like, everyone's getting it. And they're like freaking out about like all the waste. It's like, if you really even knew how fucking deep this shit goes. Like, I'm going into court and the judges shouldn't be acting the way they're acting, and I'm recording them. It's like everything that happened around me, like, it doesn't happen to anyone else. Other people go into court and argue sovereignty, they don't go to jail, dude. They go in there and tell them they're not the name, and they don't care. But I go in there and I was doing it before anyone was doing this shit, dude. I mean, not anyone. There's been people talking about this stuff for a long time. And I've climbed on the back of mountains, but I was born in the 80s. So I'm doing the best I can with what I got. But I don't think anyone's done it more crazy or miraculous shit than what I've done in this fucking so-called bowel movement. Because that's what this is, dude. Sovereignty is a bowel movement. The people who are all know about it, like, they get trapped in rabbit holes. We're all infighting with each other. Like, that's why I don't want to be part of a movement. I've always been, I've never followed what they're doing. They're all fucking stuck on scamming each other, posting other people's fucking shit. Like, I'm on Facebook, it's supposed to like posting some other lady's thing. Bullshit of her depositing money from her Chase account, JP Morgan Chase, into USAA for cash. Writing cash for deposit to the treasury, all that shit. And I'm like, this better not be working, dude. Like, this, if this is what people are doing, they're abusing it. And I'm thinking in my head, like, this isn't real. This is just, and then she shows her electric bill is for $500 and she's A for Ving it. And I'm like, why do you have a $500 electric bill? $300 this month and $280 last month. I don't know, dude. My bill is not that much. It's like $40 a month. So if you're A for Ving your electric bill, which I've never even seen, that's like a reoccurring bill. But okay. I don't know. I just don't believe. I'm the biggest skeptic when it came to all this sovereignty shit. And I've always believed that if you're going to do it, you better be ready to file a lawsuit on somebody when you send that shit off. And don't half-ass it. Because we need to create case law that's like solid. And then I don't even want to do it until the more Americans know about it and I can convince 12 jurors. Like, you realize that your name is not the same on your birth certificate as it is on your social security card in every bill you've ever gotten. Your birth certificate's an upper lowercase. It's a proof and evidence of a living, live man or woman being born. That's not the same as the creation of a legal entity that these people are only able to contract with because they're not real entities. They're fucking fake, make-believe corporations. A corporation can't deal with a living, breathing man or woman. So they need an entity to contract with. But the problem becomes that we have no money to discharge our debt because they took all of our fucking money in 1933 and they put it in Fort Knox. They're supposed to be holding all the gold in trust. All of our money is supposed to be gold and silver. You can't pay anything without gold and silver. So how do I charge these debts off? Roosevelt's like, okay, well, we're going to give you this straw man. And then that's it. So we were all supposed to have this ability to set off and discharge debt. That's what my understanding was. My grandpa at least told me that these fuckers came and took our gold and confiscated it. But the Fleming family wasn't like that. They were just like, oh, the U.S. government's in danger. Give them their gold. I'm sure a lot of other people did too. They gave them their gold. They gave them like fucking tons of bullion. Because they fucking made it illegal to privately hold gold. Because they had to back up the dollar with it. And then they took us off the gold standard. And now we just have fucking promissory notes. So everything's been a promise. Like, you just don't understand how the money works because they never taught you how fucking the economy actually fucking functions. Everything's on fucking promises. Promissory notes, negotiable instruments, bills of exchange. I don't fucking want to fucking lecture you about the economy. You should have to do your own research and not know and not believe anything I'm saying and just look it all up for yourself. I'm not mad. I love you. All right, bye. I'm at peace, dude. Like, it is what it is. I'm in the times I live in. I'm born ahead of my time. And I don't fit in here. I just don't understand why you guys want to live like this. But whatever. I have to keep up with the news and stuff, but it's just like, wow. The Gaza things really upset me. I didn't want to even mention it. I'm not going to mention it. We'll see what happens. So there's a big complaint, I guess. I don't really pay attention to the news because I don't believe that it's what reality is. I want to create a better reality that we're all going to live in a world where it's going to be a lot more peaceful than this. So all the federal employees into the government, they're trying to fire us. And and the judge said, this is an employment dispute and it has to follow a different legal process. I always love listening to what the judge's rulings are and what their comments are and why they rule that way. Because it's like Geico is government employee insurance company, right? Geico, government employee insurance corporation. So we know that everyone's a government employee, right? And they're all complaining because they're not going to get paychecks from the government anymore. And this government was never supposed to be this big, huge thing. It was always supposed to be really small, like fire. Be careful. Government's dangerous. Keep it small. Keep it contained. It's like a fire. It's a great tool, but it's a horrible master, right? So it's just like, that's what's happened, is that the government's just gotten so big and completely out of control. And for years, I was terrified, thinking they were going to come kicking my door and try to kill me, and the government was watching me. And can you imagine living in a free country, thinking that people were trying to kill you? The cops, FBI is following you around. People are watching you. They're taking an interest in you, and there's secret things happening behind your back, and it's all being orchestrated by the government. That's how I felt for years. Now I know I'm living in reality now. I'm like, dude, you're not that important. No one really cared about you. It's all just in your head. But I was such a powerful magician. I was like creating circumstances where I would see things happen. Well, there were weird things that would happen. We knew the sovereign was coming into Department 4, and they set me up and they arrest me for no reason and stuff. But that was also because I was causing, in the sovereign, there's 2 sovereigns who went and shot at some cops. They try to pull them over. They're like, we're not part of your government. We're going to shoot you, using violence. It's the opposite of what we would ever do. But I don't know. I guess that's what happened. So they put us all on domestic terrorist watch lists to make us all be they bump up flat earth. Look at flat earth. Look at flat earth. Look at this conspiracy. Go down this rabbit hole with aliens in fucking Antarctica. That's all cool. But no one wants to read the Constitution or study the law or understand who they are or what money is or read anything. Read a law dictionary, practice the law themselves, try to go into court and figure out what's going on. What I was doing, what I felt the real conspiracy was. Because I was this is the conspiracy that we can prove. This is one that my grandparents are telling me is true. They confiscated our gold and silver. The Constitution, you can read it. It says money was gold and silver coin. It still is. They've never rewritten the Constitution or amended that part of the Constitution to say that we have to operate with promissory notes. They may have revised other things in the Constitution, which I've never found. I don't know. I've seen where someone else tried to go in and discharge someone's shit, and the court laughed it out, and it was a ruling where the court was you're gonna discharge their mortgage for them and give a promissory note for them? Who the hell are you? This is fraud. What the fuck is going on? Who is this guy? He's not even an attorney. He's representing you in this case. No. So I feel the people who figured it out are such scam artists, and no one's really used the court. I don't really have any evidence. I've never really, maybe people have done this, but I've never seen anyone who's gone in and just enforced their instrument on them. I have a car note now. I haven't gotten a bill yet for the car because it's still within the first 45 days of me getting the car. But that's my car out there. Bam. Right here. I got another Hyundai Ioniq. I like these ones. They're hybrids. They're really good on gas. Okay, so the point is that when you have a car note, for me, it looks better to pay off my thing showing every month that I'm making payments. Because I wanted to build up my credit. But now that I'm not going to be working and I'm on SSI again and I'm not driving the truck with Gabby and I'm all by myself, I don't have to work. I just need to study and learn and do what I need to do. And I'm just checking in this month. I'm still reading all my books and studying. And life has been really good. And I've just been learning a lot. And I just wanted to comment on that because I thought it was really interesting that the judge says, you know, this is an employment dispute. And throughout their case. But it's probably like is the wrong venue. It's like if you go into like a probate court and try to file a lawsuit on someone. They're like, this is the wrong venue. You know what I mean? This is probate. This is for wills and adjudicating trust after someone's passed. And the court is operating as the administrator because there's no other adults who can resolve the conflict. Well, sometimes there is, but that's why the courts are there. It's like when you can't resolve a conflict on your own with someone, then the court's there to, and that's what's cool about us having a constitution, having a system of law, that we can live in a country where it's fair and free. That's why I just felt like, man, this is crazy. Like, I'm terrified that the government is filing a lawsuit on the FBI or the city police again, because I feel like last time I did that, they came after me. And they ruined my life. Like, even though I won, even though I was right, everything that I said was true. Even though I got video of me calling the Treasury and the governor and everything else I was doing and getting arrested 100 times and calling the FBI and telling them, please protect my rights. Dude, these fools are violating my rights and violating my liberties. Like, I'm trying to just be a Thelemite and be left alone. Like, I just want to be a sovereign. I don't want to live in your society. I'm not harming anyone. I'm not doing anything wrong, but they arrest me for no reason. And they've known for years they've been doing this shit. So it's like, and that's why I just feel like, fuck, dude, like I gotta say something at some point. And at least with the money where they owe me for my bail, dude. Like a city of California, Los Angeles, you owe me for my bail, dude. I had to spend my own money to bail out of jail. You're charging me with fucking robbery, armed robbery. I didn't even do it. Which I feel is another setup. Where it's like, anyone who would be in my situation who's been arrested as many times and followed around as many times as me, I feel like that was a setup. Like, you guys set somebody up. Like, you guys set me up. You had someone go in and rob someone and say his name was Christopher Fleming, or you paid that lady off to say that she was robbed by me and to go and show up in court and point at me and say that I did it. Because there are people who probably look like me, and I don't know. I just feel like that's weird, dude. To have someone say that that was me and it wasn't even me. I would be damn sure. And Jesus said, like, there's one thing Jesus said, like, not Jesus, but Jesus did say it though. He's like, don't bear false witness. And that's what, it's not like, no one says like, don't lie. Lying is a sin. It's don't bear false witness. Like, you caused your neighbor to be condemned for something that they didn't do. That's bearing false witness on somebody. Like, I forgive her, like, if she didn't realize that it was me. But, like, in my head, I have to accept that it's not all about me, that there's no one following me around. There's no one setting me up. It was just an accident. Like, I know it wasn't. I know they were fucking trying to fucking put my ass in prison. But I have to pretend and be like, no, it wasn't. It was just an accident. And someone got robbed and someone said their name was Christopher Fleming. And, you know, someone plotted this out. And gave them my phone number. Like they had evidence. They had evidence against me. If I didn't have a semi-truck with GPS showing where I was in another part of the country doing deliveries, I would be in prison right now. I wouldn't be here. Like, they set me up good. They just didn't realize that I was working. Because I had been homeless. I had been living on the streets of Los Angeles and the LA for years. So they did a perfect setup. And it's not it's like, I just have to believe that it was the universe and God. Like, everything happens to me is not from the government. Maybe it is, but I feel like it's not. Like, I had to pretend and play and be like, oh, like, that was the universe, like, trying to communicate with me. Like, look, like, we saved you from prison again. Like, but like, I shouldn't have even had to like speak and be like, this is ridiculous. Like, I couldn't have done it. I was driving a truck. Like, they shouldn't have charged me. Like, there should have been an investigation. Like, but they had a fucking victim pointing at me. When you have someone pointing at you, it's not like these like crimes where you're sending in an A for V, where you're like, I unconditionally promised to pay $2.5 million for the allodial title to this house. And then I tell him, like, I'm the treasurer of California. It's my fiduciary trustee. Here's his name and his phone number and his fax office, and he's been dealing with all my shit. And they've been taking care of everything else for me. So it was like everything was like working, but it was that I was posting everything on YouTube and telling everyone. That's why, like, I feel like I need to start this other YouTube channel, because like it's not really like, now I understand. It's like I'm like a priest, not like a priest, but like a monk or like a yogi, and I've been doing it this whole time. I just didn't realize what I was doing, and I'm really not even supposed to talk about it. But it's not like I'm not supposed to talk about it. It's like I just feel like I'm not supposed to say anything along my journey, but I am, because I feel like along my journey I don't want to forget like what I've been through and where I'm going and how I'm going to end up there. And it's a fun journey. All right, love you, bye. What I think about in the morning when the sun's barely rising up after doing my meditations. Barbie, say hello. Is an intersection with a camera that's viewing traffic coming from two different directions at a cross street. And you can see the motorcycle coming from down the street. And then the car turns in front of the motorcycle. The motorcycle had no chance to react. The car made a turn, didn't see that there was someone coming, turned out in front of the motorcycle, turning left. Motorcycle's coming down the street. Motorcycle hits the car, loses control. Guy flies out, dies, hits a fucking pole, and dies. His bike flips up in the air or whatever crazy situation happens, and it lands on a corner store where there was a cafe of a husband and a wife with a baby eating food. And the motorcycle lands on and kills the baby. We have video footage. We know what happened. The car made a mistake in an error, didn't see or calculate, wasn't looking for a motorcycle, was just turning. And then, bam, all of a sudden it gets hit. It was a mistake. It was an accident. The motorcycle driver's dead. The baby's dead. The cafe owner has to sue somebody because now they have damages to their property. They have clients who have a baby who's injured. Like, the cops show up. They ask 100 people. It was all on camera. We know what happened. But you asked 100 people when the cops first show up. What happened? The fucking motorcycle flew over the fucking thing and fucking killed the baby. The guy was driving like a maniac. He was going so fast. He hit the other car. It's like, to them, in their opinion, that's what happened. The motorcycle guy's to blame. It's like, we're looking for someone to blame. It can never just be like, it was that guy's time and he had to die. We can't ever look at it like that as a society. We have to be like, who is at fault? Like, we have to have someone to blame. And then human beings, we always want to not accept blame. So this is what my brain thinks about. It's like, so who is really at fault? It's like, it's probably the guy who was like, is it his fault because he was like getting a phone call from his baby's mama and she's like stressing him about bringing the rent, so he's like trying to fucking answer the phone and like looks up and like there's no one coming, so he fucking makes his turn and bam, then a fucking bike hits him. It's like crazy, bizarre, crazy things happen. It's like miracle. But no one ever calls it a miracle when someone dies. They only call it a miracle when someone like doesn't die at something that they should have died in. Where it's like, it doesn't make sense. But we know that there's crazy things that happen that don't make sense. It's like, but for me, I'm always like, I got to plan for the worst and hope for the best. Because in my life, so many times, the craziest, most bizarrest, worst thing that could happen happens to me. And it's like, is it because like I have all these demons following around? Is it because I'm so evil? Is it because I'm the Antichrist? Is it because like all these horrible people tell me all these horrible things are gonna happen to me? Or because I'm cursed? Or because like I live this like life where like, no. It's because like Maybe. I don't know. See, like, part of me wants to say one thing and then it always wants to say the other. That's just so difficult about being me. It's like, I have to have three different, and I don't have enough time because when I'm saying one thing, I'm in my head thinking the other thing. And then I have to have like a bird's eye view, like look at it. It's like a judge is going to look at it like, okay, so they're going to come, the couple's going to go complain like, we have damages, we have fucking, what is it called? What is the tort called? What is the tort called? Personal injury. It's a personal injury tort for wrongful death. Thank you. Wrongful death tort. So the judge is going to be like, you're suing a dead man. It's an insurance company. But his family is suing the owner of the car who made the left turn on a foggy morning where he couldn't have seen down the street that there was a motorcycle who was traveling at the speed limit. He wasn't speeding. He wasn't doing anything wrong. Despite what all the first responders heard, the motorcycle ran the fucking light. We have the insurance company go and pull and get, like, I'm like thinking this whole thing scenario in my mind. How it's gonna work? Like, insurance company's gonna go to court. They're gonna, like, the family's gonna be like, no, like, this is bullshit. Like, you know, like, we need to fucking get the evidence and pull the fucking traffic cameras. And they pull the traffic cameras, and you can see the motorcycle not speeding, doing fucking the speed limit on photo sensitive cameras, through traffic lights, all the way through the city, driving on his route, and he wasn't doing anything wrong, and the other guy wasn't doing anything wrong. He couldn't see. It was like, from his perspective, when he went to the light, he looked left. There was no car coming. There was no one coming. You couldn't see the motorcycle. It was early morning hours. Like, you couldn't tell. People aren't looking for motorcycles. Like, it's like, but you're still at fault. If fucking you turn, you enter your, so the insurance company's gonna be like, well, the motorcycle was not at fault for this accident, for your dead baby. Like, ultimately, it's on this other guy. But you'd only find that out after all this litigation. So it's like, what I'm trying to tell people is, like, people don't understand. Like, it doesn't matter that I won my case. That it matters, like, oh, you went to jail. You stole a house. You committed fraud. Like, no, they convicted me for stealing fraud, and then I got it overturned. Like, I beat them in a later court, like, showing, like, it's impossible for me to have committed fraud using my own name and social security number to get escrow agreements on that house. Like, it's impossible for me to have committed fraud while I'm calling the treasurer and posting it on YouTube, while I'm calling the governor and telling everyone what I'm doing, like showing everyone the escrow, showing everyone the keys, moving into the house, like calling the IRS and them teaching me how to pay bills with my signature, like going into court and like telling them, like, I'm a sovereign, like, I'm not part of your system, like I'm a, like, just, there's no victim, there's no crime. Show me the corpus delicti. Like, there's no actus reus, there's no menace reus. You have to have the wrongful intent. For a crime to exist, you have to have the wrongful thought. That's why they have to prove your intention. That's why, like, there's always crime shows. Like, people love crime shows because you don't, like, most people don't even realize, like, for the crime to exist, they have to be able to show the person had malice. It's really hard to show that someone, like, went out of their way thinking a wrongful thought, like tried to do something evil or sneaky or criminal. It's there's no menace reus with anything I was doing. Like, I've never committed a crime. They just throw me in jail for violating statutes. They're not even crimes. It's just like statutory laws. Like, oh, like, you obstructed a peace officer from performing his duties because you wouldn't show him your driver's license, or you wouldn't show him your photo ID that was given to you by the Department of Motor Vehicles. Because I'd be like, I'm not a citizen, I'm sovereign, I'm not part of your government, leave me alone. Like, I don't need ID. This is before, when they would just arrest people. And now people go millions of dollars from getting arrested for not showing ID to cops. People sue the cops and all this other shit. Like, I sue them for an apology, and then I forgave the county defendants. But now that they're trying to, like, not they, it's like, I don't want to create this scenario where it's like they. Like, I created this whole thing where, like, I live in poverty because, like, I like suffering. Like, I didn't like suffering. It's like that I don't need money or wealth to, like, and if people don't listen to me, I don't care. Like, all the people did listen to me. Like, my videos went viral, like me owning the cops on video. And then people went out and tried to do what I did. Some of them got arrested. And then later on in the line, like, cops changed the laws. They started carrying body cameras. People would get arrested for no reason, sue them, get the body camera, go into court, and beat them. It's like, yeah, you arrested me, but look, I beat you later on, dude, because you broke the law. Like, yeah, you have a gun. Yeah, you have a cage. Yeah, you have a car. You can put me in. Yeah, you can make it look like I got arrested. But then guess what? I can turn around and sue you for that later. So it's like the same thing with A4Vs, like how to pay bills through your signature. It's like you don't need to have this certain procedure that I'm not getting worked up. I'm just passionate about what I believe in. Barbie's tired of hearing it. She's like, Daddy, just let me sleep. God, he goes off on these rants. I'm not going to rant. I'm not supposed to talk 10 minutes, right? Bye. I love you, bye. So that's what I've been doing this month. I got a new car, and I'm trying to get my girlfriend to come home. I want to marry her. I want her to be my wife. I hope she comes home. But that's what's going on this month. So I'm really, like, just still been reading, doing my student program. I still have 2 more months. And, yeah. I love you. Love is the law, love under will. Do without wilt, be the whole of the law, love is the law, love under will. Abrahadabra. I will achieve mastery of this cult science. We're going to figure all this stuff out with the birth certificate and paying your bills with your signature. Because maybe there is a way where they're going through, but I don't believe it. Everything I've ever seen from anyone who's posting anything, I just feel like it's scams. Like, I seen someone posting checks from one bank to another bank saying $2,500 cash. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't think that's real. I've heard so much stuff with this sovereignty, like A4Vs, and you can pay bills with your signature, and here, just give me $500 and I'll show you a system that teaches you how to do it, and it will secure you, and you won't need a driver's license, and here's your driver's international permit. Like, you don't need any of that. All you need to know is the law, and just tell them you're not driving, you're traveling, and let them write you a ticket, then go to court and beat it. Like, people are so crazy. Because that's what you're going to end up doing anyways. They're going to write you a ticket. They don't care about your driver's permit. You're doing 90 down the highway, or like I was doing in my motorcycle when they impounded my motor. Like I told one of my callers the other day. Like, dude, I was on the highway. I was doing fucking 90, 140, 114, and then I slowed down to 90 when the cop got behind me. But they still impounded my motorcycle. And they're like, you're driving without a license, taking your bike. And you're doing fucking 120 on the highway, dude. Like, chill out. And I was like on the handlebars doing all sorts of crazy stunts. Like, because I knew I couldn't die. Like, I was like always pushing it and doing stupid, crazy shit. But then I ended up getting that bad motorcycle wreck where I fucking all my ribs got cracked and I fucking was in the hospital. I was like, okay, I can't die, but I can get really hurt. Just like what happened with this accident right now. Like, I didn't die, I just got really, really hurt. It's just like you're stuck here. It's a miracle when you live, but it's not a miracle when you die. If crazy things happen for you to die, like, no one considers that a miracle. But like, you don't understand what it feels like just to be waiting to be dead. But I'm not like waiting to be dead, like I'm suffering or misery. I'm happy. Like, right now things are really good. I got a new car. Gabby's talking to me again. I'm learning so much with this student program that I'm in. And I have to be very careful what I say, because I don't want to get like expelled from the order. Like, I don't want to get thrown out. So I also like need to talk to when I get assigned to teacher, like, and find out like what am I allowed to talk about. But I've always talked about everything anyways. I don't think they have a problem with it. And like Lon Milo Duquette talks about all this shit anyways. I don't really think it's secret anymore. And that's why I love Thelema. I don't want to make this too long. But I do want to catch everyone up because it's been a month. Over a month. And I said I was going to post as often as I could. And I haven't really posted this month because I've just been reflecting and dealing with stuff. Like, at least I got my Social Security turned back on. So now at least I know my rent's covered. And that's to help me get my car. Because I'm fully disabled. I can barely walk, dude. My spine is fractured. 9 broken ribs. It hurts just to sit up. So I like lay like this. I'm like laying out. I'm still in recovery mode. Like, I fucking died. I got in a bad car accident, dude. Like, you can't imagine. For me to even be up and walking is amazing. My arm hurts so bad because this whole thing was dislocated. So my elbow hurts, but it's still healing. It's just like I feel my heartbeat in it. And then before they put the surgery for draining all the blood from my lung, oh man, it's like it hurts. If you lift up your arm too fast, it's been like that, but it's gotten better. I don't know. I just don't know how I'm gonna be able to return to work yet. Like I know I will be able to, but I'm just not ready to go back to work yet. So I really needed the disability, and I'm glad that I got it turned back on because I've been getting it for fucking 12 years. And that's why I mostly kept my mouth shut. But I'm glad they turned it back on, even though I was like having this YouTube channel and I was telling everyone everything. But it's time to do Liberesh. The sun is rising. And hail into thee, Hotu Ra, in thy rising. Even into thee, Hotu Ra, in thy strength, who travellest over the heavens in thy bark, at the uprising of the sun. Tahuti standeth in his splendor at the prow, and Rahor, who abideth at the helm. Hail unto thee from the abodes of morning or night. Unity and the most shown, I adore the might of thy breath, supreme and terrible God, who make us the gods in death to tremble before thee. I adore thee. Appear in the throne of Ra. Open the ways of the Ku. Lighten the ways of the Ka. The ways of the Kabs run through to stir me or to still me. Let it kill me. Let it fill me. So let the light is in me, and its red flame is as a sword in my hand to push thy order. I have made a secret door into the house of Ra and of Tum, with Kephra and of a Hathor. I am thy Thaban Amentu, the prophet Ankafnakansu, Antichrist, NFNL, Lucifer. By Beznamat my breast I beat. By wise Tanak I weave my spell. Show thy star splendor, O Nuit. Bid me within thine house to dwell, the wicked snake of light Hadit. Abide with me, Rahor Kuit. Abrahadabra, is thy will, let it be said, let it be done. So would it be. Every spirit of the firmament, on the earth, under the earth, and above the earth, with dry lands and whirling air, rushing fire, whirling waters, raging waters, go now with harm unto none, and none unto thee. So would it be.